Hello and welcome to another episode. This is the Best Cards 4 series where I try and give you the best cards to start out with when you're considering building a certain type of deck. Today's magic concept is Lifegain. So we're going to jump right in. I am Brian the Unskilled Commander. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, throw some likes around, all that stuff. But let me show you some of the best cards for Lifegain. To start out with, you're going to want to lay the groundwork, meaning you want to increase the amount of life you gain. You can do things like Knight of Dawn's Light, which is a 2/2 with first strike that says if you would gain life, you gain that much +1 instead. And Angel and Vitality, similar, 2/2 flying, if you would gain life, you gain that much life +1 instead. And Angel of Vitality says it gets +2/+2 as long as you have 25 or more life. In a commander game, that's pretty simple. But better than those are doublers. We've got Boon Reflection, an enchantment that says if you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. And Alamar's Archive, an artifact. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. And if you would draw a card, except for the first one you draw in each of your draw steps, you draw 2 cards instead. So it's a nice bit of card draw as well, which is really important for deck building. Once you've got the groundwork set up so you can gain even more life, you're going to want to hit the ground running. Let's talk creatures. Daxos, Blessed by the Sun. Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield or dies, you gain 1 life. Essence Ward. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield at all, you gain 1 life. So that means your opponent's creatures as well. Soul's Attendant. A 1/1 that says when another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. Again, that's your opponent's as well. Soul Warden. 1/1. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. How about an enchantment? Answered Prayers. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. And if Answered Prayers isn't a creature, it becomes a 3/3 angel with flying in addition to its other types until end of turn. Cosmos Elixir, an artifact that says at the beginning of your end step, draw a card if your life total is greater than your starting life total. Otherwise, gain 2 life. This is great versatility because it can help get you life when you need it, but as soon as you get to above your starting life total, you get card draw. Really important. How about Shieldred the Apocalypse? 4/5 Death Touch creature that says whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life, and when your opponents draw a card, they lose 2 life. As I've said, card draw is super important in any deck. So now, the more cards you draw, the more life you gain, and the more cards your opponents draw, the more life they lose. And how about a one-shot? Grey Merchant of Asphodel. A 2/4, when it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. Obviously, if you've got those doublers out, you're going to be gaining a ton of life. Now that's just based off of what you do. How about utilizing your opponents for life gain? Combo, Console Allocation. A 2/3, whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Lots and lots of decks play tons of stuff besides creatures. Within a couple rounds, you could be gaining a lot of life and pinging your opponents for a decent amount of damage. How about half of a really good combo? Exquisite Blood. Whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. You don't have to be the one doing the damage. If one of your opponents attacks a different opponent, they lose life, you gain life. Okay, so life gain is great. And it'd be great if you had, 200, 300 life. How about a bunch of spells that utilize that life and help win you the game? Angelic Accord. At the beginning of each end step, if you gained 4 or more life this turn, create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying. Nykthos Paragon, a 4/6 creature. Whenever you gain life, you may put that many +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. You only do this once per turn. Blossoming Bog Beast. Whenever it attacks, you gain 2 life. Then creatures you control gain trample and +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. How about Bolus's Citadel? You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may play the top card of your library. If you cast a card this way, pay life equal to its converted mana cost rather than pay its mana cost. So now, you can play everything you want from the top of your library, using up the life that you just gained, and ideally playing into cards that gain you more life and help win you the game. And finally, the one everybody knows and loves, Aetherflux Reservoir. Not only does this help gain you the life, because whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn, but more importantly, pay 50 life, Aetherflux Reservoir deals 50 damage to target creature or player. Life gain is a really versatile and fun way to play the game and win the game. These are just some of the cards that would be great to start out a deck. What are your thoughts? What would you add to a life gain deck? Do you have a life gain deck? How good is it? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time.